Hello and welcome to another webinar. This time, templates, the feature that everyone needs. This is actually take two. We had originally planned to do this webinar on Wednesday the 24th, but there were some technical difficulties. So this is take two, where all being well, it will run without a hitch. My name is Jonathan Isaacs. I am Product Marketing Manager here at Big Change, and I'm joined by some of our amazing customer support team who will be presenting today. We have Jamie and we also have Joshua here. If you're not a customer of Big Change yet, you are very, very welcome. For those of you who are new or are thinking of joining Big Change, we are the all-in-one job management platform that allows you to run your entire business from a single solution. We do lots of things on screen and many, many more besides. We are not doing this live. This is a pre-record. So if you do have any questions, do reach out to support@bigchange.com and we will do our best to help you. If you're not a member of our YouTube community, head over to youtube.com/@bigchange, subscribe and hit the bell buttons to be notified of when new content goes live. So without further ado, I'm going to stop sharing my screen and hand over to Josh and Jamie to take us through this presentation.
Hi guys, welcome back to our presentation on templates, the feature that everyone needs. Wait for Josh to get this for us to get the slides just to make sure everything's running. So thank you for joining us again today after our technical difficulties last time there. So welcome back to the templates presentation today. So I'm going to start with some icebreakers and show you some interesting numbers. So you'll be seeing those on your screen right now. So in front of you are two sets of numbers there. I'll give you a second to think about what these could be in relation to with the idea of what templates are. Okay, so the first number is the amount of customers who have at least one online editor template on their system. And if you've guessed it, the second number is the number of customers who have at least one template, Word document template on their Big Change system there. So now we've got that out of the way. What is a template? When I first started using the system, this is a question I found myself asking a lot. Simply put, a template is a way to create bespoke items within Big Change as quick and efficient ways to display, represent, and convey information from the system. So using templates can help you save time, ensure consistency, and help you to maintain a professional appearance. So you may be wondering if setting up a template is a long, complicated process. This can vary on what you're trying to achieve, but once you've gotten the hang of the basics, you can achieve a lot with those templates. Firstly, you'll have to have the permissions to administrate the templates there. Now, if you have those permissions, you'll be able to go to My Account, Administration, and then Account, and then Templates. Once you are in this section, you'll be able to see a list of available templates on your site that you've already created or have been added to your site. From here, you'll be able to customize and update these. You'll also be able to add in new templates from here. One of the first things you'll need to consider is, what am I trying to achieve, and which template is most optimal for what I am wanting to conduct. There exist two main ways to set up a template. The first one is using the online editor. This is hosted within the Big Change site, and you'll be able to do it on the site. The online editor is best utilized when trying to create an email, SMS, and alert, as it allows for you to simulate what your email body template is going to look like and get the structure exactly how you'd like it to reflect in that and the exact way you want that information to be conveyed. Now, the next option is uploading a Word document. This is best utilized when creating documents or PDFs, as it allows for that extra control for formatting and design. Please note that the use of Word templates, you would have to use the Big Change add-in that allows you to pull through keywords to dynamically reflect this information. The Word editor will also only work for PDF XMF documents and not be compatible with emails or SMS messages. You'd have to use the online editor for that one. Now, I previously mentioned this, but what are keywords? So these are a major aspect of templates, as they are the key for dynamically pulling through information onto the template. There exists a huge range of words as to pull through items from all aspects of the system, such as job and financial details, contacts, and even your own signature. And with that in mind, I will now hand you over to my colleague Josh as to demonstrate for yourselves about how to go about creating a template and how to deploy a subtemplate.
Thanks for that, Jamie. So I'm just going to quickly move on to my site here. So kind of following on from what Jamie said earlier, I'm just going to be heading over to account settings, account, and templates. Now in here, I've got a few that I've already created, but if I was to download this again, it's just a simple case of clicking on the template you want, clicking on edit, and then you'll be able to download the one that you've already got created if you want to work on it again. So I'll just open that up quickly. Now, this is a generic template we have. What I would say is when starting to build a template for the first time, when it comes to job cards and financial documents, we do have sort of a generic template document that we can provide to you, which sort of similar to what's on the screen here. So what I'd say is, because usually building a template is the starting point is usually the hardest part. So if you do want a template similar to this to kind of build upon kind of how you want it to look and what you want it to pull through, I'd definitely recommend contacting the support team, and we'll be able to send you across this version of the template, and then you'll be able to kind of work on that as you wish and then upload that to your own site. So just a few things I wanted to point out on this template specifically. If I just go to insert on Word and then add template keyword to access my keyword editor, this is where kind of the core comes through, where Jamie was speaking about earlier, where you'll be able to kind of pull through any information that you want directly from the job. In this scenario, this is going to be a job card template, so I'll be able to pull stuff like my job details, my worksheet answers, all of the address details, and anything I want really. So once I've got the keyword editor open, it's just a case of clicking on insert keyword or formula, and you'll see I've got these tabs at the top. So anything to do with the job, I want to go to the jobs tab, and then this is where I can basically decide what do I want to pull onto my template. If I come out of that real quick, you'll see I've got quite a lot of things that come on here as default, which comes as the default template. So it's pulling through all of the default information like job type, my reference, order numbers, and all of the kind of good stuff that you'd want to send across to your customer upon job completion. Another thing I did want to touch on in this demo was the use of subtemplates. Now, if I just go back to the keyword editor real quick and I go to the jobs tab, you might notice when using a few keywords, there is a notice here which says keywords below only work when included in a repeating subtemplate. Now, what that means is if you were to just insert this keyword directly into this template, it would mean the keyword would basically pull through nothing. What a subtemplate is, it's basically a mini version or a secondary template that you then need to upload into the main template for it to work. If I just give a quick example of that, I'll just go back onto my site, and I've got an example here that's just called subtemplate, and I'll just download that. Now, you'll see it's a very sort of basic looking document because all I've done in this scenario is insert these two keywords. So this was a case of going back to my Word editor in this secondary document, inserting the keyword, putting in the one that I want. So in this case, I wanted to pull through the actual stock that was being used on my jobs. And that's pretty much it, really. Once you've got this information in here for the keywords that require the subtemplate, all you need to do is save this as a new document, re-upload it to the site like I have here, so it's uploaded as a secondary document. And then from that point, you want to go back to your main document, insert keyword into the miscellaneous tab. And then when you click on subtemplate, from this drop down here, you'll see all of the templates that you've uploaded to your site. So now you'll be able to put a direct link between the secondary template and the main template. And then the last step would be to just tick the correct tick box for what the subtemplate's related to. So because mine was to do with the stock keywords, I'd want to just pick on the actual job stock movements. And then what that'll do, it'll show up as a little keyword here. So wherever you put this, any of the information that you've put onto the subtemplate, that's going to pull directly into the main template. And then from that point, you can kind of make amendments when you need to the subtemplate if they are needed. As a final step, I did just want to quickly go through formulas. Now, formulas is something that's going to be covered in more depth in the future. So I'll just kind of touch upon a simple formula just to kind of show the depth that can be made with templates. Because whilst adding keywords and stuff related to the job is all well, you might want to go in a bit more depth and basically have an if this answer equals something, you want it to pull through a specific keyword, or maybe you just want it to pull through certain text. So if I go to insert keyword or formula, and then I go to the miscellaneous tab, and then formula, I'm just going to call this test. And then in most situations, it is going to be the condition formula that's going to be more impactful when using this. And then I'm just going to be adding my condition. So I'll make this simple. I'll click on keyword here. I'll go to the jobs tab, and I'll go to job details equals to, and then I'm going to say that's blank. So now what this is basically saying is if the job details are left blank on a job, I can basically say I want it to pull through certain text onto a template. So as a use case, it might be sometimes there might be job details that are accidentally left out of a job. So then you could have a kind of a fail safe if that is the case. So I'll just type anything here, just says let's hold the text. And now what that would do is on the job card, if the job details were blank, it'd pull through anything that you want here. Now, this doesn't have to be plain text either. What you can also say is if I go to keyword, jobs, and then worksheet question, you can also tell it to basically pull through a answer that your resource or engineer has put directly onto the job. So there might be an actual worksheet question that your engineers are filling out, and then you want that to pull through if the job details are kept blank. So it's kind of an extra customization option for your templates. I would say if you do have any questions about formulas, the starting point can be quite difficult. But again, our support team are always there to help you and get you kind of in the direction of using formulas, as it is a very powerful tool within templates. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to pop it back onto the presentation and hand it back to my colleague Jamie.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for that there, Josh. So now we know briefly what templates are and how to create them. What are the benefits of having these set up on your system? So a great example of using templates is a quote acceptance, which can be sent out to your awaiting customers. Keywords within the template can enable your customers to accept quotes via a link, and when paired with the corresponding alerts, will not only automatically mark the quotation as accepted from when your customer's done that, but also notify you of this in one quick action. In a similar note, you could also achieve this result with job confirmation templates, as it allows you to confirm with your customers the times of when jobs have been confirmed and booked in, as well as the engineers there. I will pose you with a question now. Have you ever wanted to set up a customized alert or send out batch emails to remind customers of their upcoming visits or services? This can also be achieved through templates, as to provide that extra detail and customization over what it is that you wish to be shown. If you look at your screen now, you can see an example of an email template. These allow for you to streamline your communication with your customers when sending out repeated emails. In this example, you can see there's a confirmation email that will allow for your customers to be able to have that detail easily available, such as the time, resource, and even the name of the person you are emailing. Now, I'm going to pass you over once again to my colleague Josh to show an example of this in action with a job confirmation template demonstration.
Thanks, Jamie. So yeah, just back onto my test site now. Obviously, the last example we went through was a Word document, so that was more for your job cards, for your financial documents. However, as Jamie was saying, we can also set it up for an email template so that you can automatically send emails out to your customers, which are also using keywords, and that will automatically pull through certain details of the job, such as the start time, the resource, and the job details. So again, I'm in the template section. And I'm just going to open up this example here. And here you'll see this time I'm using the online editor. For emails, as previously mentioned, we'd always advise using the online editor, as the Word formatting is mainly used for job cards and financial documents. Now, you'll see the format is a little bit different, but it's the same sort of concept. We have our sort of generic text, and then you've got all of these keywords that I've pulled through that I want to be sent across automatically. For example, if I just click on the insert keyword button here, and you'll see it pulls up the exact same tab as what we had in the Word document earlier. So then I'd be able to send through stuff like the job's timing, when is it planned, who is the resource going to be attending the job. The last thing to touch upon within this sort of job confirmation example is there is a keyword that will specifically pull through this job confirmation link. So this will basically give your customers a link through the email to directly access, which will basically open up a third-party page, and then it'll give your customers direct access to confirm the job, just to make sure that everything's going to go smoothly. Again, if we click on keyword here, we navigate to the jobs tab, and in here you'll see a link here called confirmation link. So if I click on that, and then it basically gives you the choice. You can either leave this blank, which will just pull across the full link to the customer, or you can simply type in something as simple as click here, and then it'll basically just give them a little click here button on the email. What I will do is just quickly show how you can actually access this from the schedule and how to send it. If I come out of that, it's just a case of going to your schedule. We will put on a new job. And now that job is scheduled, it's just a case of clicking on the unscheduled job, click on send confirmation. And then depending on how many templates you have, you may need to select it here. But because I've only got one, it automatically comes up with this. And then you can kind of see the information that's going to get pulled across. Now you will notice that the job description in this example is blank, and now that is just one thing to be made aware of. If you are pulling through a keyword such as you want the job details to automatically get sent to the customer, if you do leave the job details blank, so if in this example we look here directly on the job, I've left the job details blank, so that will just come across as sort of a blank box. So if you are using keywords, I would just make sure that the words that you are using, make sure you've got that information filled out before you send any sort of forms or documentation. So that's it for me just regarding job confirmation. I'm going to pass it back to my colleague Jamie.
Thank you for that, Josh. So the power of templates is also optimized to allow you to create bespoke financial documents, ranging from invoices, quotation, application of payments, and purchase orders. Have you ever wanted to streamline your financial documents? This is also possible through using templates as to set up those bespoke financial documents. So templates aren't just about bespoke financial documents and emails. They can also be used to help customize and refine documentation on your system, professional and personalized detailing for sending out your documentation after a job has been completed. So for job cards, you'll be able to customize exactly what you're wanting to show as to convey this effectively to your customers. You'll be able to set this up certificates and customize them to meet your specific business needs and requirements, such as gas safety certificates there, though we can also provide these. If you want to look into those, contact your customer success manager. When creating a message-based template, it's not just limited to emails. You can also set them up to design SMS messages. This allows for you to effectively and automatically communicate with your resources and customers as to remind them of items that you may have otherwise forgotten, such as those service reminders that we discussed earlier. Now, You've created and thought about the template you want to use, and the next step is to set up the usages against them. So this allows usages, sorry, I'll start from there. Usages allow for the system to interpret what this template is and how it's going to be used on the system. You can control this by going to the top right section of your template called usage and add multiple usages against the template so that it can be used in multiple ways, such as being both an alert and a standard email. Now, I'm going to pass you back over to my colleague Josh, as he's going to now show you a quick demonstration of how to apply usages against them and also to discuss the version control.
Thank you again there, Jamie. So yeah, I'm just going to pop back into the settings, account, and then templates. Now, this is going to be sort of a finalized step once you've got your templates built and they're kind of ready to be used on your system. As Jamie was saying earlier, it's just a case of clicking on edit on your completed template, navigating to the usage tab here. And now this is basically telling the system where is the template going to be used and where do you want to access it. Now, there's no limit on the usages that you put on the templates. So for the job confirmation, it's just a case of clicking on add. The format's going to be an email because it's an automatic email that we want to send to the customer, and then just clicking on job confirmation. And then it does also give you an extra filter, as there might be some job types that you want to use certain job confirmations for, and some that you want to limit so that only specific ones can be used, just kind of avoid that user error. But in this scenario, I'll just set that to any type. Now, this is kind of an important final step because as we went through earlier, when I chose that job confirmation template, if you were to go to your schedule and tried sending it, it wouldn't come up with a template. So usages can be important in many ways. There are many different areas that the templates can be used and functional. Just another example, if you did want to send up, for example, automatic document sending, so a job card that automatically gets sent upon job completion and is using the new template that you've created, I'll just quickly go through on how that would be set up. So I'll go back to my job card template that we created earlier. I'll go back to the usage tab, and I've already got it here, but I'll quickly re-add it. So it defaults to PDF because this is a Word document template. I'd set the type to job card single job. And again, I've got that job card job type selection here, so I can limit it to certain job types if I want. And then you can also put in a default file name, which basically when you go to download the template, it's going to download in that file format if necessary. And then I'll quickly just come out of here. And you'll see if I go to my schedule, job types, click on any job type, navigate to my documents tab where I'd set up automatic document sending, click on add here, and you'll see at the bottom, depending on whether it's an email or job card, it'll come up here. So this will be two separate functionalities here. The top section here is going to be the custom job card that you've actually built. Whereas the bottom is going to be the email that you've built. So you can basically set up two versions here. You can send out the email that's going to get sent to the customer, and then also the actual attachment, so the job card itself that's going to be set up. So a last thing I did want to touch on as well is once you do start kind of getting into templates and making all the amendments you need, version control is a very important thing, as obviously mistakes can be made and end up kind of putting your template in a way where you might want to revert something you've done. So if that is the case, this can be easily done. All it is, you'd click on the template that you've re-uploaded and might have a mistake on it. You'd click on restore here, and that'll basically tell you all of the different versions that you've done. Now, this is limited to showing only 4 versions at a time, and then it will start replacing the oldest one. So I'd always be safe, and if you can, I'd store a backup of the current working version of your templates at all times. But just as a sort of a fail-safe, you do have access to the 4 previous versions in here as well if you do need to restore. So if I wanted to restore this earlier version, if I'd made a mistake, I can just click on that and click on restore. Now, to get templates to show up in here, you do just need to make a small amendment, and then I can show you what the pop-up that comes up. So if I was just to put in a little bit of text in this template here, click on save and close, and then that'll basically tell me, do I want to keep a previous version? Now, if I click no, then that's not going to show up in that restore setting that I just showed you. And then it does also give you a prompt if there are, or if you have already hit the limit of how many restored versions there are, and then that's going to start replacing the oldest version. But I'd always recommend clicking yes on this if you can, just in case you've made an amendment that does lead to an issue or some sort of error that comes up. But yeah, that's all from me on template control, and I'll pop it back over to Jamie.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for showing that there for us, Josh. So if you do have any questions in regards to this, everything we've discussed can be found on our Customer Help Center, which can be easily accessed by going to the support icon in the top right and then going to help and support. We do have a wide range of in-depth articles that will walk you through a range of different template items and are applicable if you're just starting off using templates, or if you're trying your hand at the more complicated aspects such as using subtemplates and formulas. Thank you all for your time today, and I'm going through templates with myself and my colleague Josh. Thank you so much for your time. Have a lovely rest of your day.
Thank you very much, guys, for taking us through that. Really informative and helpful. I'm sure you will agree. We can't do our normal survey because this is a pre-record. So if you like what you have seen, please do let us know in the comments below. It would be great to see if you have any feedback on making these webinars even better than they currently are. We do have some things that you won't want to miss. We did, over the last couple of months, do 15-minute lunch and learns. These were broadly 15-minute webinars on the following topics. We covered alerts, speedy shortcuts, the map, scheduling secrets, keeping your system secure, and finally data and reporting. You can catch up on all of those items by scanning the QR code shown on screen or heading over to our YouTube channel. We also did on the 10th of July at 11 o'clock, we did our second Big Change Innovate. This was for quarter 2, and we covered all of the functionality that was added to the Big Change platform in the previous quarter. One of the things that we announced, which was absolutely huge, was Big Change Fuel. There was a huge amount of excitement on this, and it is available today for good reason. You can save hundreds of pounds a week. You might be thinking, well, that's just my word. You don't need to take my word for it. We had Mark on and he dropped into the chat completely unprompted that he is now saving £400 a week. That is over £20,000 saving per year. Just imagine what your business could be doing with an extra 20 grand. We don't just do virtual events, we also have in-person events hosted here at Big Change HQ in Leeds. They are free to attend. We do have events on the 6th and 7th of August, and we also have a date scheduled for the 3rd and 4th of September. We will have something in October, dates just waiting to be confirmed. If you want places at either of these events and they have not passed, do email louise.stone@bigchange.com. We also have our big community newsletter. June was published a short while back, and you will be able to visit that by scanning the QR code on screen. So as I mentioned, this is a pre-record, so we're not going to be doing a Q&A section, but if you do have any questions, head over to support.bigchange.com. You might be able to find the answer there, but if not, you can use the chat to speak to my colleagues in customer service. So on behalf of Jamie and Joshua, thank you very much for joining us for this take 2 of the templates webinar, and we hope to see you soon. Thank you.